the next First Lady to the first state, Michelle Obama.
Doesn't anybody have to go to work around here? Oh, my goodness. Are you all excited? I heard you all out here singing and clapping. I thought, who's here? Is Stevie Wonder coming? No one told me. I am just thrilled. Just thrilled and honored and moved and delighted and excited all in the same breath. I want to thank Reverend for that wonderful introduction and for his service on behalf of the working men and women right here in this state. We are proud of you. We are honored to have you on our side. Thank you so much. And to Miss Kayla Stewart, you're good. You are good. Now, if after that everybody isn't going to sign up to volunteer, I don't know what's wrong with you. You don't need to hear anything from me. And Hannah, Miss Hannah, excuse me, young lady, can you come here, please? Now I could just leave right now. So you really have been working in the office?
Yes.
Is everything going well?
Yes.
Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Yes.
Responsibly?
Yes.
And with courage and energy?
Yes.
And what are we going to do? Or who are we going to elect?
Vote for Barack Obama.
Yes. Now that's dedication. She came on, lost a shoe, and kept moving. She's a pro. I'm proud of her. So, here we are, a few days before Super Tuesday. And I've been thinking a lot about this year. We've been a little busy. But if you think about this year, or if I think about it, I think about where we started, because in February, that was the time that Barack stood in front of about 10,000 people in Springfield, Illinois, and announced that he was going to be running for the President of the United States. It was freezing cold, frigid, below zero temperatures, and 10,000 people came out, stood outside to watch this man announce. And there was all this energy. And then everybody started talking. They said, this race is over. There's no way that he's going to win. You remember that? There was an inevitability in the air, and it wasn't Barack Obama. And that was before a vote was cast, an office opened. I was like, I didn't even get to talk to anybody. Nothing had happened, but it was over. In this great democracy, it was over. And I sort of scratched my head, and I said, okay, well, that's a good way to start. But what they were saying then was that there was no way that Barack Obama could raise the money, because you remember back then, money was the true test. Money was critical, because there was no way that this young man could build the kind of finance organization that could compete with people who had been running and preparing and building relationships for years. And then the first quarter came around, and the money reports came out, and lo and behold, Barack raised the money. And he raised it in a way that no one had ever done before. There were big donors, but there were so many folks who had written $5 and $10 and $20 contributions, people on the internet, church ladies sending in $3 in envelopes, folks feeling in their spirit that my $23 makes just as much difference as the $2,300 contribution. And folks wanted to be a part of this process. So because of that grassroots momentum, Barack was able to keep pace and outpace his opponents in many instances. But then after that happened, then all of a sudden, money wasn't important. Well, you know, money is important, but it's not that important. Then it became building a political organization. Well, he certainly couldn't do that. He couldn't build the kind of political organization could outmatch folks who had been doing this for years. Well, and then we got to Iowa and New Hampshire and the early states. And what we were told consistently on the ground from people who had been involved in politics for their entire lifetime, that they hadn't seen a political organization as strong and as focused and as well organized as the campaign of Barack Obama. See, because we were attracting regular folks, young people, folks who left their jobs and left school and packed up their bags and slept on floors and moved around, and they signed people up. They made connections. They listened and talked to people on the ground. We built a phenomenal organization, and we're still building it, and you're feeling it right here in Delaware. But then when that happened, what happened? Then the organization wasn't important. And then it was Iowa. Iowa was everything. You remember that? I do. Iowa was the litmus test because Iowa was different. It was a caucus. Caucuses are different because you actually go in and you meet the candidates and you spend a lot of time on the ground meeting and listening, and you're in people's homes. And yes, we did that. I went to every county in Iowa. I know counties I never knew existed before. I know Iowa up and down, and it was a marvelous experience. But we weren't supposed to be able to win Iowa, but then what happened? Barack won Iowa clearly. So the voters who were paying attention and spent the most time with the candidates on the ground clearly said Barack Obama was their choice. And then what happened? Iowa wasn't important. Iowa's only a caucus. It's not important. What's really the test of the strength of the campaign are the national polls, because Barack was down by double digits in the national polls, right? And then New Hampshire was the firewall. Barack was supposed to be crushed in New Hampshire because there were people who had been spending years building relationships. And then New Hampshire comes. We do the same thing. People on the ground. We narrow the double-digit gap to 2 digits. There is no way you can spin that as a loss. That was an amazing showing. Barack got almost just as many delegates in that state. Then New Hampshire was, so it was important, but not so much so. And then Nevada came. We tied there, came away with more delegates there. And then South Carolina. Before anything even happened in South Carolina wasn't important. I'm so confused. Wasn't important. Barack was supposed to win South Carolina. But was he supposed to win by 28 points? Was he supposed to win every county but 2 in the state? Was he supposed to do so well among young people and women and white men and all areas and Republicans? That, you couldn't spin that.